Hello, it's Brother Sean. Yes, and I would like to talk to you just briefly about a person pleaser is what? Gosh, it's ringing true already as I use the words a person pleaser because I know for many years of my life I was a person pleaser as a monk for the sake of causing ructions in the community or having a backlash or a penance for daring to speak my truth in love. As a student nurse in training, as a nurse manager, trying not to create waves, acting as a mediator to try and promote peace. Certain friends that certain friends didn't tolerate at certain parties, and you're trying to please everybody, and in the end, what do? You end up hurting yourself, isn't that true? Well, I can only speak in love, and I know I spent many years trying to please other people. And it always backfired, but I never had the courage or the heart to tell people to back off and get a life. I wished I had, but that was my weakness. And my weakness certainly took its toll. And there are many of us today who have had to be broken in our mind, in our body and spirit, in order to come up a different person. And I know, had I not have become so ill 14 years ago, 15 years ago, when my dear friend died, I know that I would still be the rescuer. I know for a fact I would. But today I know in my heart I am a different person. And some clients of mine who phone me when I used to be on the road running retreats and healing workshops and training therapists in ascenic energy medicine, embracing the diaphragmatic energy of the divine masculine, Jesus, and the divine feminine, Magdalena. They would ring me up, and they still do. Thankfully, they're getting lesser and fewer. Brother Sean, do you remember me? I said, well, give me a clue. And then I realize, oh my God, not again. And I'm hoping against all odds that they've moved on. But then they start saying, so I stop them and I say, sure, is it the same old you-know-what on a different day? Well, how did you know that? And I say, well, I'm sorry, pet, but I'm not here to listen to the same old, how's your father, on a different day. But you're a monk. I said, yes, pet, but I'm not a doormat. Where's your respect? And that's what happens as a person pleaser. You totally disrespect your identity as a child of God. And it does take courage to speak your truth from love. But if we speak our truth from love, then karmically there's no comeback on us. But if we speak our truth from vengeance and hate, then that's really destructive. I believe that when God created us in love, yes, I believe we chose our family, our friends and our enemies, but He also gave us the free will to choose. And if we're in a loveless relationship or in an unhappy job where we are being bullied and we put up with that, then more fool you. You have a duty of care to your mind, your beautiful mind that God made, your beautiful soul that will live forever, and your body. And you can always tell when I go out for walks with the dogs, not so much here now because of living this contemplative life, but when I lived in the cities, you could see who was deeply unhappy by the way their shoulders were, and often quite obese people, and I'm not being judgmental, but you see it in their eyes. They're not living a fulfilled life. They're carrying the weight of the world. You've often heard the expression, or they're carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. And that's what they're doing. But they're not happy. And when you listen, you say, have you not tried to do something about it? Yes, but it would do no good. And we have one or two in our community, and there's always something wrong with them. They never seem to go forward. And when you try and suggest something, you get the feeling that they are happy being a victim in that scenario, and they do not want you to ruffle their feathers in love. So what I do now is I back off. I pray for them, but I won't engage in any form of dialogue, even though it's based in love, because I know they will get stressed. I have a sister whom I love dearly, but you try and share with them, and they loop. We call it in counselling looping. One minute they're up, next minute they're down, next thing everything's fine, and then this, oh, you've no idea what I'm going through. And I said, yes, but when are you going to learn? And then the shutters come up, and the shutters close firm and tight, and they don't want you in their space, and that's fine. But the one beautiful thing about living the contemplative life, people feel sorry for me because I'm missing out on what's going on outside. I'm not. I've had many years as a nurse to know what's going on outside, and I do watch the news. The world is in crisis, but God made a beautiful world, and He made my brothers and sisters from different faiths in His image and likeness. But why then are so many living in this fear mindset? Why are so many living in loveless marriages and relationships? Because it suits them. Or maybe they've been so browbeaten, worn down by the physical, psychological, or sexual violence that they're voiceless. My heart does go out to them, but we've each been given the gift of free will to say yes or no. And I pray for so many people whose names are on my list of people asking prayer, that they're given the courage to face their worst fear, which is an illusion. Take back their power as a child of God. And if their back is to the wall, then call on the company of heaven to help them. And I've met so many beautiful souls who say, well, I've prayed for that and nothing's happened. Why? Why hasn't it happened? Maybe they've not been in the right place at the right time. Maybe they're not ready to receive the miracle. Or maybe, and it's a maybe, they don't want the miracle. They want to be the victim. Then you and I have to back off, send them love with a blessing, and let them go. And even if that's our mother and father, even if it's our partner or our children, we must not stay in a situation where we're totally disempowered. Otherwise, we run the risk of becoming seriously ill. So let us conclude by just inviting the company of heaven to give us the courage to see what they see, and to see it through the eyes of love, not condemnation or guilt. And then ask the power of God to bless every area of our life and give us the courage to step out and face, knowing that we are not alone, that we are surrounded, that we are protected, and that we have no further need to rescue and be a person pleaser. Thank you for watching. May God go with you.